Fantastic. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Marinaut podcast, the only podcast by Zack Snyder fans for Zack Snyder fans.
Woo!
We just subjected ourselves to 4 hours of the Zack Snyder cut, and we're here to talk about it. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well.
That's pretty. Yeah.
I thought my Wi-Fi failed me for a second.
Well, let's just talk about our first initial responses.
Yeah, did you think it was good?
I thought it was above average, but I wouldn't say it was amazing. That's my opinion.
What about you, Teddy?
I think it was bad, but better than its original cut.
I think that's a really good way to summarize it. Is it's better than the original, obviously. But if you didn't like the original, you're not gonna like this version.
Yeah, I need to see the original too.
Have you never seen the third?
I've never seen it. I don't watch the DC movies that often, so
we just made you watch 4 hours of
Well, I understood what was happening. It's not like I didn't get what was happening.
Yeah.
I know the lore and stuff. It's just I don't want to now watch the bad version, you know? If this is the better version, I don't want to now watch the scuffed version, you know?
No, definitely don't. It's really bad. It's just because it's Joss Whedon who directed The Avengers, and he comes in when they fire Zack Snyder, or when he steps down, quote unquote, or whatever happened. And Joss Whedon comes in and he reshoots scenes, and he rewrites shit, and it's just a mess, and it also sucks. I have a vivid memory of seeing that in theaters because it was so bad, dude. It was just, and I wasn't expecting it to be good. At that point, Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad had come out, and I had reckoned with my sins. So I knew it was bad, and I knew this was going to be bad. But it was just so much worse than I could imagine. But this Snyder cut looks like a masterpiece in comparison to the original cut of this movie. That's one of my biggest praises of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, first and foremost, the thing I have to say about the Snyder cut first is I'm glad it was made, in the sense that it's so frequent that studios really interfere with films nowadays and try to make them products more than artistic pieces. And so to some degree, I'm really happy that Zack Snyder, despite the tragedies that have occurred in his life, has been able to make this movie. That said, I don't like his vision. He's a visionary, right? Zack Snyder is very good at having a unified vision of what he wants to have on screen. But I just don't like what he likes, you know?
Yeah, I get what you mean, bro. Break it down. What don't you like? Give us an example.
I think, I guess let's start with the positives. I do like Ben Affleck as Batman. I think he's very good as Bruce Wayne visually. I like the way he looks. I kind of like the way he acts. I don't think we've ever had a good on-screen Batman. I think it's just hard to get that right. Hard to balance that very suave detective, but also brute force sort of character.
Yeah.
I think you get parts of it in each actor. I think Ben Affleck does a really good job at that, kind of brooding. He's got the physique for it. I don't know if he's very suave, though. Christian Bale maybe would have been more suave, but I never liked Christian Bale as Batman.
I didn't either, but to me, dude, Ben Affleck kind of comes off as and this is not in reference to anything I know about his actual life, but in this movie, as Batman, he comes off as kind of an alcoholic.
Yes, he's so sad.
I watched this with Maddie, and she didn't know anything about this movie. I forced her to watch it.
4 hours of it?
4 hours. Well, we had to split it up. We couldn't do all 4. There was 2 hours a day.
Yeah, I took breaks as well. I couldn't do it all in one.
No way. Anthony, did you do it all in one sitting?
I did one sitting.
Oh gosh.
I did it last night at at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. But she was that's the first thing she said. She's like, "Oh my god, this Batman looks like an alcoholic. I can't take him seriously."
Well, they're all so sad in this movie.
Yeah, that's a problem too. Is there's very little performance going on. There's just kind of like sad lines.
Yeah.
It's really only the Flash. That's what I noticed.
Yeah.
He's like the only like
okay.
lighthearted character, you know?
How'd you guys feel about the Flash?
Kind of cursed. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was. No, he was. I was really hoping that
funny.
was like a Joss Whedon thing, because I know that in the Joss Whedon version they added a lot of jokes and levity.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, the whole Flash guy, this has to be like all Joss Whedon. But apparently, that's how Zack wanted him to be.
Yeah.
At first, he talked about how he struggled with like connecting with people. And I thought maybe, oh, they're like going with like a, maybe he is like on the spectrum and maybe he has autism or something. And I was like, that's a really cool concept for a character, for a superhero. We've never had a superhero portrayed like that. And I thought maybe he's neurodivergent and this could be really interesting. But then as the movie went on, you know, I got the feeling that they weren't doing that. And if they were, that was a very poor portrayal of neurodivergency. And I realized they weren't
so
going for
annoying.
anything special with the writing. His like struggle with people was just kind of like a one-liner joke. And then I realized he was just like a one-liner joke machine. He was the snack hole guy. He was the.
Well, what was his line when he joined? He was like, "I want to join because I need friends."
I need friends. Yeah.
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 Like, is
so
that supposed to be
stupid.
serious or not? I don't know. That's the thing.
I never got the feeling that he needed friends. I never got the feeling that anyone in the Justice League liked each other. They didn't
No.
seem to like each other, other than Aquaman saying "my man" to to Cyborg.
Dude, Cyborg, like, he was super serious that whole movie.
I was gonna say,
Super serious.
Yeah,
Which kind of makes sense. I mean, like, the dude's not a human anymore, really. Like, he's lost most of his body.
yeah.
And his mom died, and his dad died. You know, his whole family's dead, but
His dad melted.
he felt like the most adult character, which was weird.
Yeah, he did. He felt like the most, and he was the emotional core of this film. I really wanted the movie to be from his perspective, watching being recruited into the Justice League, because then you kind of get that like layman's perspective. Not the layman. You get the you look at it from their perspective as he's entering. But as the movie went on, I realized I just don't like this character. I thought I did because he was the most relatable, because like the tragedy and stuff, I guess. He was the most humanized. But he delivered his lines in such a generic, matter-of-fact way. I don't know if they were going for that because he's a robot. It just, I don't know.
I don't really know, but yeah, he doesn't really have like a lot of emotion in his lines. But it may have just been like that was intended. I don't know.
I found that very, very few of the Justice League members said like any of their lines with any kind of emotion other than like unbearable sadness. It was crazy. I don't know why. It's just like everybody in this movie interacted like college students that have been like forced to partner up together, and they're like all really separate. Like there's like a super jock. And then there's like some, I don't know, some super nerd. And then there's like a 40-year-old man. Like that's what I felt like I was watching.
It felt like they were assigned to a group project for like their class, for like their economics course.
It just was sad to watch. Like I was just, it's a little bit like energy sapping, you know?
It is, yeah.
I hated their interactions, like when they were just talking. But I liked the action when they like teamed up together. I thought it was fun, kind of.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like some of the earlier action scenes. Like I thought they were really cool, actually.
Which ones?
Like the bank scene, I thought was cool, but I don't know like why that even happened. I don't like.
The bank robbery?
Yeah.
They wanted to send the world to the Dark Ages again.
Yes. Yeah. That was a cool scene, though. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
About that. They wanted to go back to the Dark Ages.
Yeah. Literally.
I thought the fight with like the Batman's like tunneling robot thing, that was an okay fight.
Oh,
It was really scuffed though, but like they had like no teamwork at all really. But I thought like some of the fights in that were kind of cool.
Do you remember the Flash like saving people where there's like debris falling and he like saves a bunch of them by like doing a bunch of dance moves in the air?
Yeah, he's like backflipping.
Yeah, and there's like lightning all around, so you can't really see him, but you just see him in various like poses of like
you just see like
kicking
stills
and,
of him like
yeah.
flashing,
and there's like music like I just laughed at that part. I was like, what? What is this?
Those scenes really hurt my head a lot. The flash
The
scenes.
Flash?
There's just so much happening, like the lightning.
Why is there
he's
so
like,
much? Yeah, there's so much electricity from him. It's
Oh,
like kind of hard
God.
to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes.
And the slow-mo. That is atrocious.
It's not very well done.
There's just too much of it. I texted Patrick like halfway
Not
through the
only
movie.
the Flash, there's also just slow motion everywhere in the movie.
Oh, of everybody.
Exactly.
I think Aquaman walks into the ocean in slow motion. It's like a 2-minute scene of him going from like the end of the dock to the
And there's like
water.
music playing and stuff. It's like badass music while he walks into the ocean. Disappears when the waves surround him.
That weird Icelandic women song where she's like sniffing his sweater.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know what
sing.
that was about. That was really odd. The bank scene that you referenced, I did not like that. I laughed when the guy, I think he's a famous actor. I recognize that dude's face when he says, "There's gonna be a lot of dead kids on your hands." That felt straight out of like the 80s. It was a weird line. And then when Wonder Woman starts like moving in super speed, taking really big lunge steps to block the bullets,
Yeah.
that looked awful. That made me like laugh.
Yeah, some of the Wonder Woman scenes where she like kind of teleports look weird.
Yeah.
She's like the only one with a theme song.
Dude, that theme song played. Yeah, that played so much during the movie. Literally every scene she was in, like when she did anything, that was playing. The like singing, the Amazonian like singing in the background.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then she has like the electric guitar, and I love that song. That should be Cyborg's theme. Why is that the Wonder Woman theme?
Yeah.
It's so like techno and like electric, like that should be Cyborg.
Yeah.
I did like Superman's theme. Superman had this little like returning motif kind of song, and I really liked it. It worked for his character.
It's like the boom,
boom. Yeah, that's exactly it. Boom, boom. It's like 4 notes, but I was like, that really works for him.
Yeah. Do you remember Lex Luthor? I noticed his theme is just the Superman theme, but like
it's the little piano
or
like
inversed.
It's like the violin strings, like the.
No. I'll have to send it to you again. Hold on. I'm gonna find it.
Oh, do they actually play it in reverse? I know when he appears on the yacht at the end, they do the.
I remember that. I do remember that. Hold on, I gotta show you.
Patrick, how'd you feel about the CGI?
Okay, the underwater looked horrible.
Yeah.
Any Atlantean scene looked really bad, except for when they're like in the air bubbles. I thought those kind of looked pretty good.
Oh, I was wondering why they kept going into air bubbles. I think it's because they knew those scenes were gonna be bad.
Yeah, there's one scene where like Steppenwolf like is attacking this lady and she puts him in an air bubble for like no reason.
Yeah.
I think he looks a lot better than in the first one. I did see a comparison.
He does look
Steppenwolf.
good.
He looks dude, he looks better than I was expecting. Like his armor is not as just silver and gray and black as I thought it was going to be. It actually is like reflective. It looks like oil. Like it has like a reflective surface like oil. It's like really weird. So that kind of looked interesting, to be honest.
You're right about that Lex Luthor theme. That is the Superman theme, but backwards. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Too bad it's Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor.
Yeah, isn't Lex Luthor like bald and like buff?
I don't know what he's supposed to be. But
he's supposed to not look like a little skinny Mark Zuckerberg.
I don't want Mark Zuckerberg exactly, or like just this guy.
Yeah, I did not like that.
Him.
The CGI was especially. Oh, actually, this is my first complaint. My first complaint when I'm watching the movie was when the mother box starts shaking in the Amazonian like tomb temple spot, and now the girl goes up and she's got her sword and her shield ready, right? And then she throws her shield to the side. Why would you, if this is a threat, which I'm assuming you think it is because you have your sword and shield, why would you then throw your defense away? That didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And like, didn't nothing happen even after she did that too?
Oh yeah, the
She
fight
like
scene
touched it and then like nothing happened, right?
Yeah, we didn't come back to that scene for like another hour. Then we went to like Cyborg and we watched everyone get introduced. And then we went back and it was like, oh God, I forgot that this was even happening. And then Steppenwolf attacked. And yeah, his CGI looked good. The tomb, though, when she's running out and they're breaking the pillars, oh my God. That was horrendous CGI.
It was rough on the Amazonian island.
It was, oh wait, did you remember the first shot of the movie? Superman screaming and we're like following his sound wave.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate that so much.
It was so bad. It was like 10 minutes too.
It was like the same sound clip that you heard for, like 10 minutes. It was so annoying.
It was the same soundbite.
It was. I thought it was so like odd. They showed Jesse Eisenberg or Lex Luthor, whatever, in like the ship. He's standing in like the piss goo. It's so clearly like composited in. It looks so awful. It's like taken from another scene or something. It looks so bad. That was probably the worst CGI. That was atrocious. And then the tomb was bad. Although I have to give them props. I've been watching a lot of anime recently. I'm taking a class on anime, so I have to watch a lot of anime for it.
Your anime degree?
I wish I was joking, but I actually have to take this for my Japanese major because there's no other courses with like a Asian studies requirement that I can take that fit my schedule other than the history of animation in Japan. But anyways, anime has a tendency to, I guess, sexualize and objectify women. And anytime there's a girl that wears a skirt or just short shorts or something, the camera just holds on her, ass or anything like that. My favorite example, I think, is one that Patrick not recommended to me. Patrick told me about in he recommended it to me in, I think, like the third season of Sword Art Online where they have guns and stuff. There's a sniper character and the camera like pans through her legs and like between her. I don't know. Yeah, but
that's insane.
I thought they were gonna do something like that with the Amazonians. And they were very restrained.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot is not sexualized at all in her costume. I know they do that a lot with Wonder Woman where they're like, yeah, just put her in a leotard. That's perfect. They balance that well. I like that.
Yeah, well, and the big thing is that in the other cut, they did sexualize Wonder Woman. Like, they did have shots of her ass. I remember them. Because they stood out to me, because I was like, what? They're sexualizing Wonder Woman in this movie. But those must have been Joss Whedon additions. And I was so sure that they weren't. I was like, this has Zack Snyder written all over it. But I was wrong. I respect the man more. I don't think that was him. I think that was a Joss Whedon edit. And now, knowing, aren't there certain things about Joss Whedon that he's done? I don't know. But I think it adds up. Whatever.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's good. That's a +1 to Zack Snyder.
I found the Flash slow motion scene where he saves the girl from the car crash incredibly creepy.
Wild.
And awkward. I really wanted that scene to be over. When he's like stroking her face and then like reaching for a hot dog. I was like, what is this?
I was like so confused. I thought he was gonna like feed her the hot dog or something.
I thought that too. I thought he was gonna feed
it. And he just pockets it. He just pockets it for later.
Holy shit. We were losing our shit. Like, we were laughing so like uncontrollably during that. And I had no idea if I was supposed to be. But I just was, because it was insane. Like, to describe it, literally just there's like a hot dog stand. And like all of the hot dogs are spilling out, and he just is like stroking the woman, and then he looks at the hot dogs and he just like picks one up, and it's hilarious, but it's also so creepy.
I can't tell what tone he was going for because it really was set up like a joke. The way it was him stroking her face and it kind of pans over to this hot dog. I thought the same thing. I thought he was gonna put it in her mouth or something. I was like, please don't. That's so weird.
God. That was insane. And then the car exploded. And how did she even flip her car when she like T-boned somebody else? That whole sequence was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, her legs would have been like destroyed at the angle she hit the car and how she was flying out. Her legs would have like slammed into the steering wheel. I like the way Center City looked though. I kind of wish the cities each had their own distinct visual style to them. They kind of did. I especially liked the way the Metropolis fight with Superman looked. It's just this big open space with like cities surrounding it. It looked like a dream, and I liked that. It doesn't work for this movie necessarily, but the visuals worked for me. But I wish each city, Gotham, all those, had their own distinct feel.
Yeah.
What else? I took notes. See what I wrote down. I just have Cyborg looks bad. This one says, I fucking hate the Flash.
Oh. Yeah, Cyborg looked okay in a few scenes. Like there were a couple scenes where like his face was actually realistic. And then other scenes his face just looks like plastic.
Yes.
It's creepy.
Yeah, I got that feeling too. I don't like the way he's like jagged. I don't know. Maybe I'm used to the Cyborg from Teen Titans, where he like it was very smooth metal and he had like weird blue fluid in him. And this, he's got like glowing red eyes and stuff, and he looks evil. The glowing red is never like the sign of a hero.
Did you like the part where he was like, it was giving like, I think it was a visual metaphor courtesy of Zack Snyder of like him putting more money into somebody's bank account. He like took it out of the stock market and like put it into somebody else's bank account once he realized that he could do that. And it was like just this visual metaphor, once again, courtesy of Zack Snyder, where I think he's in like a giant bank or something like that, but it's all made up in his head. Did I imagine this scene, or is it?
No, I know.
No, that happened.
About. Okay, he's like in this like void with all these like graphs surrounding him and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he like puts all this money into this girl's account.
It looked like something out of Sharkboy and Lavagirl. The CGI was so scuffed in that.
It did. Oh, it was weird, and it was like.
Yeah, that had me really confused.
Yeah. Man, I loved it though. I was kind of into it because honestly, the way I was enjoying this movie was kind of like this movie is just so ridiculous. I can't wait to see what else will happen in this, because it was better. Like, I will give it props. It was better than the original one by so much, but it was just insane. Like, it was nutso.
Yeah, it was entertaining, for sure.
It was.
I felt that it was like, I don't know, bloated, overstuffed. I get the joke is like, oh, it's 4 hours. And I don't know how to describe this accurately, but it felt like 4 movies that were super cut together. It felt like if someone tried to take the build up to Infinity War, like phase 1, phase 2 of the Marvel movies, and edit them so that each scene jumps back and forth between each story based on the chronological time, based on when the stories are taking place. So like, you'd watch scenes from the first Captain America, and then you'd watch another scene, and then you would jump to the intro scene from Guardians of the Galaxy, because that takes place in 1973 or whatever, and then you would jump to like Captain Marvel. It felt like I was watching multiple movies. Like, these are origin stories for a lot of these characters. These should have been standalone films.
Yeah, I think the second half of the movie was a lot weaker than the first, just because maybe I was just tired of the movie at that point, but I don't know. I think that I really liked the first half, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty much engaged the whole time. But towards the second half, like, that final fight, dude, I hated that final fight. That like red Moscow like city or something. Mm-hmm. I thought that was horrible. I really did not like that fight. It just like hurt to look at. I don't know.
It didn't feel like the Justice League, you know?
No. I get what you mean though, because it's just weird and dark and like red, and they don't really work that hard to figure out anything. Like, they literally, Zack Snyder shows us like them strategizing their attack on this base. And I remember Cyborg's like, okay, they've got a dome like sphere thing around them, and Batman, all he says is, wow, that's a mistake on their part, because we can just blow up the tower that makes their dome and it'll all fall down.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's just their plan.
Well, and then they do it.
Anything else, they just do it. And that's like, that's just not
normally,
that's not anything.
You're supposed to have the plan. Any other movie would do. You make the plan goes wrong. best example, Infinity War.
Then they have to improvise.
Yeah, I'm sorry I always make this connection, but whatever. Infinity War, the plan is to get the gauntlet from Thanos. They do it. And then Peter Quill has a character moment that screws them all over. They no longer have the gauntlet when they're pulling it off, but then Peter Quill says there's Gamora stuff, they get the glove back. Then they have to improvise. In this movie, they say, I'm going to do a full frontal attack and blow up the tower. Then he does exactly that.
He does
Okay.
And they're like,
cool.
oh, teamwork. That's how the dream works. Flash is like, oh my God, we are working as a team, guys. So Batman's plan is for him to literally do everything to take down the defenses.
So hard in that last scene.
Yeah.
He carried them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
hard.
And then they just wrecked shop because they all they have to do is punch a bunch of demons that have no chance against them because they're all gods. And Batman just doesn't show up until it's safe for him, until Zack Snyder decides, okay, I guess Batman could take on these people, and then he shows up.
Oh, but then I guess they do fail when the Flash gets shot. And that's their plan, run in a circle. And then I guess that was the instant of like, oh no, we got to improvise.
Yeah, well, it was only really the Flash who was improvising though.
Yeah. How'd you feel about running back in time?
It didn't really make a lot of sense, but okay. I thought it was kind of cool that like it happened, like the planet actually was like blowing up and stuff.
I did like that. It was visually cool. I didn't get it because he was like talking to himself. He's like, "Oh, you promised you'd never do this, but sometimes you got to break that promise." And then he started running backwards.
But he was fine. Hard. He was fine.
That's what got me. Is I was like, so then why was this your rule to never do this? Because you saved the day with no repercussions.
He literally is fine.
No, listen, you guys don't understand Zack Snyder's true vision. This was just the match that will set off the chain of events that will lead to the dark future that he teases us with the Joker.
The nightmare.
The Joker. Yeah, exactly. That was it right there. Zack Snyder, he thinks he's so smart.
How did you guys feel about the Nightmare Universe thing?
It's so dumb.
I don't know. What was that? Was that the vision that like Cyborg got or something?
Part of it. And then did you see the end where the Joker says he's gonna give Batman a reach around?
Yes! I was gonna mention this, dude. What?
I don't know what that was.
Zach! Zach has a history of this. This isn't the first time he's done something like a sexual thing while talking about Batman. Because he said before in an interview, he was like, listen, I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, listen, if I was going to do Batman, if I was going to make a Batman movie, I'd make it dark, I'd go to like extreme places. I would have Batman get like raped in prison. And so that just makes me wonder, like, yeah, he said it. You can look it up.
I'll throw a picture up in editing. Here it is.
Yeah.
Snap.
Proof. Boom.
There it is.
He said it. So this makes me wonder, does Zack Snyder have a thing for Batman?
Oh, I don't know.
Or is there some sort of...
Maybe that's why he carried in the final fight.
Yeah, maybe it's just some
sort of loves him so much.
Yeah. I mean, did you see Aquaman, dude? Aquaman did nothing that whole movie.
Aquaman was useless.
Was the most underwritten character. I don't know. He says, I don't want anything to do with this fight. Then he shows up to fight
and then he does it.
For Mira or whatever underwater. And then he comes back and he's like, I'm part of your team now. And then does nothing until he says, my man.
And he kills like 3 of the flying guys. That's it.
Yeah.
Was his plan to just get carried into the stratosphere and then kill them and just plummet to the ground? Because he really didn't seem to have a plan.
No. I feel like the final fight could have been better. And I watched the original Justice League. It's just both of those end fight scenes are so bad, but for different reasons. At least in this one, like in the original one, they like wrote in some random Russian family, and it cuts to their perspective, and they're just like they're just speaking Russian, and it has subtitles, and they're like, and it's translating, and it's like, oh no, we have to get out of here. Our farm is like going to be destroyed. And then it cuts to like the Flash, and he has to like save them. And it was so unnecessary. So I'm glad that's gone. But now Flash is just running in a circle for the entire time. Like that's just so I don't know. It's just so weird.
It felt odd. I did like the Superman fight scene. I think they improved. I'll always like the part where the Flash is running, and then there's that moment where it's like you realize Superman is just as fast as him.
He like looks at him.
Yeah, I liked that.
I thought
that was
a cool
good.
Scene. I saw it coming, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah, but the part where like Cyborg's self-defense system starts up and Superman's clearly like gonna kill them.
That felt like.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Well, that whole thing felt like a forced plot point.
Yeah.
Oh, like we have to make this fight happen?
Yeah, it's like, what's the term? I don't know what it is in movie making, but you do something that normally wouldn't happen just to progress the plot, you know?
Yeah.
Lazy writing.
That's what it felt like. Because, like, how does he not have... He can hack any system, like, on Earth, and he can't control himself? Like, it just doesn't make any sense,
That is a little odd, yeah. But I love...
I thought the fight was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love the fight. I think the only other complaint I can think of is when, before the fight starts, Wonder Woman tries to stop it, and she's like, Kal-El, no! And it's like the worst delivery of that line possible. There's no urgency in her voice.
No, that was bad. And it's just this, it cuts to this close-up of her, too. And it's just her face. Like, you see her just pronounce the word. And it's like, oh, man. But anyways, I hated Batman in that. I just didn't really like Batman in this movie, but I hated him in that fight. I just thought it was so dumb the way he just like blocked Superman's lasers with his wrist.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like, I know it's a superhero movie, but like if Superman was trying to kill him, you just move your laser, you know? Or just like
you just look down slightly and like melt him in half.
No, but they shut it up earlier in the movie. Remember when Batman was making the gauntlets? They showed that Alfred was making him gauntlets.
Exactly.
So he's got the superpowered gauntlets so he can block the laser beams.
But also, how does he know where Superman's looking? He just like puts up his wrist exactly where Superman's gonna laser him. No way you see that coming. All you see is red, you know, like on his eyeballs, and you're like, oh my, he's gonna laser me. You like cover your face. Superman is smart enough to not aim for his gauntlets. It's just so stupid.
Just give him a shield or something if they wanted to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're afraid to reference Marvel though. They're like, oh, we can't give Batman a shield.
Make it come out of his gauntlets.
Too much like
Captain America. Liked that better if Alfred was like, oh sir, look at this, and he like presses a button and like a shield pops out of his gauntlet, and he's like, this can be used to block Superman's lasers. That would have been more believable to me than what we actually
than just
got.
like the wrist protecting your entire body from a laser beam.
He does it twice too.
Oh yeah, he does. He does.
He does it one for each wrist.
When I was telling that story, I even put up my wrists like together, like Wolverine, to block. He doesn't even do that. He uses one at a time. So like, what is this material made of? And how much of a god is Batman to just know where Superman's looking? Also, what if Superman just like can like cross his eyes? There's just too many variables for me.
Yeah, I hadn't. It was one of those things where my brain was completely turned off. But once Patrick brought up that he could just look anywhere else, yeah, that is really
just
dumb.
Looks slightly down and melts him in half.
Yeah,
but I thought that like, what else happens in that fight? Because I remember it being like fun to watch. Actually, I know like Aquaman like runs into the Flash.
That happened. I know one of them gets thrown into the memorial. And it's framed so that you can only see like really one of the names on the memorial, and it's Ben Parker. That might have been a Marvel reference. I don't know. That was an Uncle Ben thing. Yeah. What else happens? Wonder Woman he like punches Wonder Woman in the skull, and she slams into the concrete, and it made me laugh so hard because it was like comedically timed. It was like he throws one punch, she blocks it. Throws a second, she blocks it. He like looks at her, and then just clobbers her. It was like a Hulk moment. And it like made me laugh, and then I like had to reflect. Like, was that meant to be funny?
Yeah.
Okay, can I say something about in that scene, Anthony? Every time they did the head smashes, there was always like this giant pulse that came out of them. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And they do it later with Aquaman too when he's attacking with his trident. I thought that looked really bad.
I don't love it.
Like every time they had to like resort to this giant like particle effect every time to show impact, you know, with like a headbutt wouldn't do that. I don't know. I thought it looked pretty bad.
It's how strong they are. It's like what?
Well,
is it supposed to be like a shockwave, like the sound barrier breaking?
Yeah, it's like dust and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I didn't think it looked good. That was the thing.
No,
you can convey that same effect using sound. I watched this morning. I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the new Marvel TV show, and I think Bucky. There's like a fight scene with Bucky, and when he punches people, because he's a super soldier, you hear it, and it's just this loud, impactful crunch. It's like how in the Indiana Jones movies, the punches in those are so beefed up. It's not like in a movie you get a punch and it's like a little like kind of sound effect, but sometimes it's like a big like kind of, you know, you hear like the impact. Just make it a good sound. I don't need to see the pulse and the sound wave coming off of them.
It just looks so fake. It makes everything look like a video game.
But also with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I actually really like those characters, and that's a dark show. I think I won't spoil it, but the show is dealing with like it's Bucky dealing with the fact that he's killed a lot of innocent people. It's a very dark subject, but Bucky is treated in a way where you're reminded that you like this guy. You actually like this person. I didn't really like anybody in Justice League. None of them were likable people,
and they're all murderers. Besides maybe the Flash.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I don't think the Flash attacked anybody. He just like ran around, honestly.
He just ran around. He pushed one guy. He like pushed somebody.
Did they
What'd you guys
what were you gonna say?
Or no, you go. Because this is a different subject.
Well, I was just gonna ask if they ever like hit a human. Like, did they fight humans other than the bank scene?
No, it was just always those demon things. What are they called? The parademons.
Parademons.
And those don't count, I guess.
Those aren't. If you're gonna make like an enemy, like you have to make them somewhat scary, you know? They're just people that are flies.
Yeah.
Like this.
And I'm sick of seeing that. I'm like not people that are flies, but I'm sick of seeing like armies of the same thing. Like, and this goes for Marvel too, you fuckheads. But just giant armies of exact copies of aliens. Like, dude,
like the final fight in what's it called?
Endgame?
Endgame. With like the
War.
Swarm of the
like the weird like dog things.
Yeah, those things.
Oh, what are they called? Like the Chitauri? The Guitar Heroes?
Yeah. Guitar Hero 3?
Yeah.
Legends of Rock.
Every Avengers movie.
Tom Morello
has done that, bro. Every single Avengers movie.
Yeah, they do. They do
that. A specific reference.
No
if you get that reference, leave a comment.
Well, leave a comment saying I get that reference. But no, Teddy's right. They are like, it's just them fighting the same copy and pasted enemy. It's a Battle of the Five Armies moment. I'm trademarking that. It's a copy and paste your enemies. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Darkseid? Because he wasn't in the original, right?
No, he wasn't at all.
I thought he was dumb. He shouldn't have been in the movie. Other than like that one scene where Steppenwolf is like, I couldn't understand Steppenwolf, by the way, at all. Or Darkseid. The scene where he's like, I want to be redeemed.
I'm glad I watched with subtitles then.
Yeah, subtitles were important for that because they sounded ridiculous. They were like, but I need to reclaim souls for like, dude, that sounds like what I would make myself sound like if I were 11 to try and like make myself sound like Darkseid. You know,
it sounds like
something original.
Like when you're a kid and you make a scary movie and you tone pitch your voice.
It sounded exactly like that, and that's what Batman's like voice sounds like too. And I get it's like a voice modulator, and he's like, I'm disguising my voice with the voice modulator. It makes me sound like a robot. It sounds dumb.
I've never liked it.
It sounds dumb. It just does. Like, how do they always get Batman's voice wrong? They've done it in two different time periods. in
It's
three different
especially
time
bad.
periods.
The Christian Bale one, I know, is a meme it's been a meme for a while, but it's bad. I think what should be a meme is the fact that Christian Bale's Batman always looks like he's trying to kiss his enemies. Because Christian Bale's lips are always like pursed slightly.
Yep.
He always looks like he's going in for a big old smooch on the Joker. Which I think is what Zack Snyder would want, considering, you know, his Nightmare Universe scene. The Joker was bad in that. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're completely right. And dude, I hope this video attracts like the Snyderverse fans, and they reach. I don't know if they'd get past like the 5-minute mark if they actually did watch this. But Joker sucked. Like, I don't know why they added that in. It was just Jared Leto retrying. It was like I was watching his second audition tape.
Yeah, a little bit. I noticed the "We Live in a Society" line wasn't in it.
No, they didn't even put in the society line. They used it to
trick us.
Used it. Oh, it's gross. Zach, you're gross. That's what I have to say.
There was one thing he said that I really did not like, the Joker. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't the reach around line. Oh, it's like the he like whips out the card and he's like, "And so we'll make a truce, Bruce." And I was like, ooh. Yikes.
I don't even remember that.
The rhyming is not, it does not work.
"As long as you hold this card, we'll be friends. But the second you rip it in half, we'll go back to our old ways." I was like, you don't gotta do this.
He sounds like a wizard, like giving a riddle to somebody.
No way.
It does.
Oh my god. It does, dude.
In these 3 keys lies your fate. Yeah, it's bad.
And what was up with Deathstroke in this? Like, that guy looked so dumb. He looked so dumb. What's his name? Weird.
Joe Manganiello? Manganiello? I don't know. He plays D&D. He's the bully from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. He's Flash Thompson.
Yeah. He looked
his facial hair
in this. He looked ridiculous.
Did you see that though? The beard? It looked like steel wool that they spray painted white and glued to his face.
Yes. It looked exactly like that. And then in the nightmare sequence, he's there for some reason and he's got a mohawk. What?
Why does anyone look like that?
Oh my god. And Mara, she's not actually British, right? That actress? I'm assuming she's not.
I don't know, but the accent sounded I don't want to say it because if she is, then I'm going to look like an idiot. But I thought the accent was bad while watching it. Do you know the fish girl, terrible. Patrick?
Oh, the one who got attacked, or is this a different one?
Yeah, the one who got attacked. No, she's American.
Oh, she is?
Yes. Okay, I thought that was bad.
She did a bad job. She was literally like, "I will kill them for what they did to my Aquaman." Like, what? Sometimes I felt like I was watching a
high school play
film.
Of ours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. Exactly. Especially Jared Leto was definitely like a high school play level. It was acting, I think, overall in this movie was not good because I'm gonna blame Zack Snyder. I don't know if he's a good director, like a actor.
Oh,
director.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Zack Snyder like focused more on his vision of the story and the visuals and blah 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 blah, and he forgot entirely to like actually tell these guys what to do. And so the only person that actually has a personality is the Flash, like Patrick said.
Yeah.
Except he's annoying. So who am I supposed to like? I just have to watch all these students do their group project.
You know who I liked?
Who did you like?
Willem Dafoe.
Dude, he looked homeless in this. Willem Dafoe looked like
bad.
What was that wig? He had like the scraggly
like Patrick's mask. Do you remember Patrick's mask that he wore for like Halloween that one time?
Oh my god, yeah.
And he was like yelling technology at the passerbys.
Yes. It's like 8th grade.
That's what he looked like though.
He had like the weird scraggly blonde hair, and he's like, "You gotta return to Atlantis, Aquaman. We need you." What is going on? Oh my god. Yeah, that was all strange. So now that we've torn the movie to shreds for an hour, is there anything we liked?
I'm trying to honestly remember all that happened because it was so long.
I did not like the runtime. I can say that much.
I think that I remember when I finished the movie, I ended up liking the first half a lot more.
I think, yeah, I felt the same way. And I think it was because by the end, I was just like, oh my God, let's go. Let's move. Let's get this over with.
I like this movie. I like this movie in the way of like, I like how bad it is. Like I like the ridiculousness of the universe and how it doesn't really make sense and it doesn't really work, but it takes itself really seriously. I find that compelling. And so, to be honest, I want more of this because I'm fascinated by it. I think this is unique because this will forever go down in film history as like the most divisive superhero universe ever because it's just bad, but people like adore it. And I just don't understand why. But I do like it. But like, it's not good.
I don't know. I think it's difficult for me to say that I like this movie because I don't. I tolerate it, I guess, is a good way to put it. I thought it was okay. I'm really glad that the movie exists. I'm glad Zack Snyder was able to make it. He dedicated it to his late daughter, and I think that's all fantastic. I think he donated profits to suicide awareness, and so it makes me kind of guilty to say this, but I just did not enjoy the film. If I have to look at it from an unbiased perspective, I just didn't love it. And that's a lot of that is because I don't like the world he's built. That said, there are a lot of people out there who love this dark, brooding world. It's just not for me. The slow-mo, the overbloated story, the indulgent sort of like imagery, and then just the absolute disregard for characters and writing and likability of characters makes it hard for me to like.
It's like all style, no substance. And the style is ridiculous most of the time. It's just unbelievable. And like I said, like I did enjoy a lot of the action scenes in this because they were so ridiculous. Like Wonder Woman's first action scene is honestly probably the best when she's like smacking those dudes around, but like she's splattering them on the walls and they're just like blood is being left on the walls and there's just like their heads are like just coming open. Like that's awesome. I like that everybody in this universe is like a cold-blooded killer. Do you remember how they dispatched the villain, Steppenwolf? Like Aquaman, the Aquaman stabs it. Zack Snyder is awesome, and I love you, Zack Snyder. It seems like a 16-year-old direct. Like if I was 16 and I had to direct this film, this is how I would make them kill the main villain. Aquaman comes up, stabs him in the back, holds him up in the air. Superman smiles, flies in at like the speed of sound, punches him off of Aquaman's trident. Wonder Woman slices his head off, and they send him through a portal into Darkseid's like chamber. Like that's incredible. That's nuts. That's awesome. That's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So in a way, dude, I do really enjoy this, but it's just like I don't take it seriously at all. Anytime this movie tries to like give some emotional scenes or like tries to give some sort of exposition, it's like unbearable. It's like the worst shit I've ever seen when like Lois Lane is on screen or like Martian Manhunter is like talking to Batman or like whenever it's just people trying to have a conversation, it's horrible.
Oh, dude, Martian Manhunter too. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Patrick, are you familiar with the DC like Justice League characters at all?
Not too deep. Why?
Did you like? Because I was thinking about this to a viewer who's never seen DC movies or anything. How much of this would make sense? Like, did the Martian Manhunter stuff make sense when he goes to talk to Lois Lane and comes out and transforms. He's like, the world needs you too, Lois. Like, what would a normal audience member think of that?
Wait, was she the guy who turned into the woman?
Yes.
Yeah, that made no sense to me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just bad storytelling, I feel like.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the movie's meant to be for like hardcore fans, and I would just not know. But
yeah, the movie's not for me.
It's perplexing because even if it is for like hardcore fans of the comics, it's not accurate to the comics at all. This is completely Zack Snyder's take on these characters. And it's clear that he doesn't have that much knowledge about certain characters, and he knows more about others than others. But like, people love this, and I've never seen this before, because usually when people change comic stuff and like people do their own vision, a la like Iron Man 3,
oh
like,
yeah,
with
yeah,
that
people
director, people lose their shit. But Zack Snyder comes in here and like shits all over Batman as a character and makes him like murder people in Batman versus Superman. You know, just makes him a straight up murderer, remorseless. Just wants to kill Superman for like no reason, and people love it. This is like so perplexing to me. It's awesome to see. I love it. I genuinely love the discourse. I think it's insane. It's like pure insanity.
It makes me feel, I don't know. I can't rate this in terms of like filmmaking. You know, I could say the same for Marvel. Like Marvel movies and everything. When I say, oh, Spider-Man: Homecoming is a 7 out of 10, is it really a 7 out of 10, or is it a 7 out of 10 for a Marvel movie? You know, like I feel like they're a totally different experience. They're a totally different realm. It's hard to rate them on the same scale. I don't know. How would you guys rate this movie? Like, if you had to definitively give it a score, like, what would you say?
From 1 to 10?
Yeah, 1 to 10, we'll say.
I haven't seen the original. That's a big problem, is I don't know how to gauge it from the original, you know?
Well, I guess just as a standalone film, what would you say? Like, how would you say it stands up as a movie? And then how would you say it stands up, like, in terms of enjoyment?
As a movie, I would say it's like a 5 or 4, but from my enjoyment, it was like a 6.5.
Okay, yeah.
It was pretty engaging. Like, I'm not gonna say it was boring. It was not boring or anywhere near that close. So,
I think I would flip it from what you said. I think I would give it a 6 in terms of like technical filmmaking. The pacing was decent for a while up until the halfway point, and I think that is just because I watched it in one go. But the lack of characters and screenwriting, or like characters and script and stuff, really held it back and all that. But it's competent, so I'd give like a 6. In terms of enjoyment, though, like a 4 or 5 for me. This is a movie that I never want to watch again. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I will never subject myself to this again.
Dang. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a little twist in there. I'm gonna rate it on my superhero scale. So like, Infinity War, on my movie scale, like as a movie scale, is probably like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But on my superhero scale, that movie's a 9 out of 10 for me. Because it's like that movie rocks. That's like the best comic book stuff I think we've ever gotten on the big screen. It has so much emotional weight to it, and it has like 10 years of filmmaking to back it up. So it's pretty, unbeatable. But like, and just for like something else to compare to, like, I would give Batman v Superman on the superhero scale like a 4. This movie on the superhero movie scale is like a 7 for me, because I think it's like Patrick said, it's never boring. It's always like pretty okay to watch. I would say there's maybe a couple dialogue scenes where I like tuned out completely, and it's between like Lois Lane and Superman's mom. So it's pretty much okay. So I think it's a 7 on the superhero scale. But on terms of like movie for me, this movie's a 2. It just isn't anything for me. It just isn't anything. I just enjoy it purely because I think it's insane. It's like watching a YouTube like short film, or not. This is not a short film, but it's like watching a YouTuber make his own Justice League.
That's such a good analogy. This feels like a YouTuber who got the budget and made a fan film.
Yeah.
This feels like the angry video game nerd movie. You know, it just kind of feels incompetent at points.
Yeah.
No offense to Angry Video Game. I think he's fantastic. This feels like Nostalgia Critics fan films.
Yeah. That's better.
Actually, that's
on brand.
That's a cursed grade. I take that back. It's a little bit above those.
Yeah. That's way too harsh, Anthony.
We should watch those for the viewing party.
We really should.
No, I don't.
It's a great
Please
idea.
don't make me.
Please don't make me.
Are we gonna watch Hit the Wall or something? What is it?
The Wall. We could watch The Wall. We get copyrighted for that. We can watch like To Boldly Flee, the Nostalgia Critic film.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm all in.
Fantastic. I'm all in. We'll do a full review.
That was the original Justice League tagline. Do you guys remember that? It's like hashtag all in.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, just all in. So you know what I am? I'm all in. Yeah, that's right.
I remember the Beatles trailer. It was like the edgy "Come Together" song. Come together.
What does Batman say? He's never fought us.
He's never fought us. Not us united. That got a groan out of me. I groaned at that.
Holy crap. They make 3 jokes about him being rich in this movie. Did you notice that?
Oh, God.
Like, what's your superpower? I'm rich.
I'm rich.
And then it cuts to like an Audi commercial or whatever. It shows like the inside of his Mercedes Benz or whatever. It's like, it's like, what is this? Oh my God. Yeah, that was awful. God. That was horrendous. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem.
What were the other 2 rich jokes? I'm not remembering them.
I bought the bank.
Yep, the bank one.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah.
And then there was another one in the middle. I think Wonder Woman or somebody says it. I can't remember. But I think they're maybe coming to into the Bat Cave or something. I don't know. I can't remember. So.
Or it was in the Justice League. I think he makes one to Aquaman when he's visiting his poor 19th century Icelandic village.
Oh, yeah, he probably does. It's like, I'll buy this from you.
Yeah, what was up with that? Joke. Why did the Icelandic king get so pissed?
Yeah, I don't really know what any of that was.
Why are they living in the 19th century? There. They didn't have cell phones or anything.
Why did the lady sniff his shirt?
Would you not sniff Jason Momoa's sweater after he crawled out of the water? His sopping wet wool sweater that definitely smelled like mildew.
Yeah.
You would give that a whiff as you sang generic Icelandic music.
Oh my God. How irresponsible of him to break that bottle on the dock.
Yeah, for a man who's like the god of the ocean. Yeah. And he always leaves his clothes all over the beach. Every time he gets in the water.
He's literally littering his clothes all over every beach in the world.
Yeah.
Every time he emerges, he just leaves his clothes.
Yeah,
behind.
he rips off his clothes. Every time he comes out of the water, he takes off his clothes, bro, once he goes back in. So is this like a never-ending cycle of him getting out of the water, ripping off his clothes, jumping into the water, putting on clothes in the water, and then coming out? And then
Yeah, where does he get the clothes back?
Because he rescues the guy on the boat wearing clothes, takes him to town, strips his shirt off, and then gets in the water. And that's after we see him do the same thing earlier. Where is he getting these clothes? Is he stealing them from Willem Dafoe? Is that why he looks homeless? It's because Aquaman keeps robbing him.
You owe me so many clothes, Aquaman.
We could rule this ocean, Aquaman.
You gave me my sweater back.
Give me my sweater, Aquaman.
No, he left it in the remote place of Iceland.
I let you borrow my sweater and you left it in Iceland, Aquaman.
Holy shit.
Go watch Justice League on HBO Max.
I think that's a recommendation. I think that's from us.
I would recommend it just because it's an event, you know? It's
you don't want to miss it.
But for the love of God, watch it in 4 sessions. Break it up into chapters.
Just every time there's a new part, just stop it.
Walk away.
Because it's split up into like what, 5 or 4 parts? I don't remember.
7 if you include like the epilogue, I think.
Jesus. Oh god, that many? Okay.
Yeah, so this movie would take you a week to watch. And the best part is, you might be thinking, well, if I watch it in chunks, won't I forget what happened in the last session each time I go in? Yeah, and that happens if you watch it in one sitting too. You'll never know what's going on. It's very poorly structured.
Exactly. And that's the charm of it, frankly.
That's the charm of it. I think this could be edited down to a 2-hour movie. I don't know why he made it 4 hours. I also don't know why he made it a 4:3 ratio. The aspect ratio, it's like you're watching it on an old CRT TV. The black bars on the sides.
Yeah, it was for his vision. Remember, it was.
That's what the HBO told me.
That's what HBO said to me, and I believe him. They made The Sopranos, so.
I don't get it, because like The Lighthouse is a movie that I know has a 4:3 aspect ratio, and that's because it's imitating those really old like 1950s or whatever movies. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's imitating that old style. It's kind of aping that. And it works really well. And I can tell that's part of his vision.
Yeah.
Why is this in a 4:3? I feel like Zack Snyder saw Lighthouse and he's like, yeah, that's cool. We'll do that.
I'm an indie filmmaker.
I'm Zack Snyder, famed indie filmmaker. Go watch Justice League, the $300 million superhero film.
God.
It was that much?
Yeah.
What?
It didn't look good.
I can look it up. I don't know. Well, you have to take into account the reshoots, and I think you double that to include advertising, and then maybe double it again because they're always liars.
Do you think this is maybe the most expensive movie ever made? Because, listen to this.
It could be.
They had a huge budget originally for Zack Snyder, and he made a lot of this movie. He made, I think, most of the movie when he was originally doing it. And they made him step down, and they had to pay more money for Joss Whedon to rewrite and reshoot so much of it, right? And then how much did they pay for Zack Snyder to finish his cut of the movie? Like, all in all,
$70 million to finish it and $300 million to make it in the first place.
Dude, so all in all, this has got to be like the most expensive movie, right?
It's looking very expensive.
And I want to know if this is like a...
Dude, why are movies so expensive?
Patrick sent a poster of this movie, and the Flash looks like a Bionicle.
I sent that because you just made your movie posters video. So I want to see.
Yeah.
You got to rate this, Anthony. What do you rate that?
Yeah.
I actually don't hate it. I like the saturation. I don't really like the of all their symbols and stuff. I don't know, it's
that
okay.
Looks bad. I hate their symbols. But this is obviously like, I think it's an homage to like that. If you've ever seen it, there's like it looks like this. There's like a cover of a comic book or something where like all of the DC superheroes are all kind of lined up like this in this kind of realistic style. Yeah, I think it's an homage to that. And so I really like this poster, to be honest. I'd give this like probably a 6. It would be better if it didn't have their dumb symbols in the...
I'd say this is...
You can't save the world alone.
Yeah. It looks very basic to me. If you compare this to a poster for a superhero movie that I love, which is Infinity War or Endgame, it doesn't really hold a candle. Also, I can't really tell what the movie's for, because the title of the movie's probably the word in the smallest font.
It is.
Mediocre at best. Kind of like the film. Mediocre at best.
Yeah.
What's the new poster? That's the old one. Did they even bother to make a new one?
Something black and white and edgy.
It's gotta be.
Probably doesn't have a poster because it was streamed, just like everything now. Goodbye, movie posters.
This wasn't even shown in theaters?
Sad.
No.
Oh, well, God, it's 4 hours. How could they?
Oh my God. Good point. Yeah, it's just a black and white image of them standing together. Even worse.
Wow.
I didn't realize that this whole review we didn't even talk about Superman. He wears a black suit now. He's got about 5 lines. It's Henry Cavill. I don't know. He's all right. I don't know what you want from me.
He doesn't really do anything. He's just not really anything in this, you know? Like I like when he shows up and he just punches him and he just lasers his horn off, like brutal. But like I said, it kind of matches the universe. Like everybody in this universe is just a reckless monster.
Everyone in this universe hates each other. I'm shocked they didn't do like a racism plot line. It's just everyone hates each other in this. No one gets along. There's no happiness.
No.
Even when they win, it still feels like they lost. There's never a moment of like, oh, we did it, team.
Even when the planet is exploding, and it's like, even like, it seems like the universe itself is kind of imploding, and the Flash has to save it. It didn't really feel like anything at all to me.
I barely knew what happened until they ran past Superman and it showed it like reconstructing a skeleton. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, they died?
Yeah, they blew up. Like, yeah, I agree. You don't really. It's too visionary for me. I just can't get on the level that Zack
Snyder like watching
is
a
asking
Kubrick
me
film, you know?
Yeah, it was
just too good for me to understand.
It simply was. It simply was.
I wish Kubrick would have made a superhero film. Actually, is he dead? I just use past tense on him. I'm sorry if you're still alive, Kubrick. That's kind of a dick move of me. But I think you're gone.
Pretty sure he's dead. He's in the ground.
Well, on that note, we could talk about this forever, but I think we've gone for like an hour and a half. So,
holy shit! This really was the Snyder.
This was the Snyder Cut episode.
Yeah,
but it's a 4-hour film, so we kind of have to go for 4 hours.
That's true. That's so true.
But thank you to everybody for listening this far, even though I know none of you do. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the support. I appreciate we gained like 2 or 3 new subscribers recently. I pulled you in from Reddit with my lasso of truth. Thank you for joining. That means a lot. I do appreciate it.
Leave a like.
Yeah, consider liking this.
What was your favorite part of Justice League? Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, make a little ASCII picture of Joss Whedon using backslashes and parentheses only. I'm choking up here. I'm so emotional.
Let us know why you hate our opinions and you're unsubbing.
Yeah. Let us know why we're wrong in the comments below.
Really do, though. I want to hear it. Let's get some discourse in the comment section.
I actually would, yeah. If you guys want to talk with us in the comments, please consider leaving a comment with your opinion. I'd love to hear. Because I genuinely would like to have a discussion with some of you. Not all of you, though. If your name's Kevin, I don't care what you have to say. So mean. I hope we don't have more than one sub named Kevin, because I'm talking about a very specific Kevin.
Yeah, you are.
Who comments a lot. If you're not that Kevin, I'm sorry. I don't actually hate you. On that note, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the sub bot out, or the recording bot out.
Snyder Cut for life.
Snyder!